She had spent an entire year falling in love with the man who always remembered her favorite coffee, never missed a volunteer event, and insisted that honesty mattered more than money. Then, on a bright spring afternoon, she walked into a crowded charity gala and saw his face on a giant screen above the stage. The announcer introduced him as the anonymous billionaire who had secretly transformed thousands of lives. Her heart stopped. The man she thought was an ordinary architect had hidden an identity that changed everything she believed about him. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share this story with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel so our community can continue sharing stories that remind us that true love begins with character, not wealth. Marina Collins had never cared much for expensive things. At 29, she worked as a children's librarian in a peaceful coastal town where every afternoon was filled with sunshine, laughter, and the excitement of young readers discovering new worlds inside books. Her greatest happiness came from helping children dream beyond their circumstances. She believed that kindness was the most valuable education anyone could receive. One sunny Saturday almost a year earlier, Marina had organized a free outdoor book fair in the town square. Volunteers decorated colorful tables while families wandered through rows of donated books. Among the volunteers was a quiet man named Everett Rhodes. He arrived wearing faded jeans, work boots, and an old baseball cap. He spent the entire afternoon carrying heavy boxes, repairing broken shelves, entertaining children with funny voices during story time, and refusing every compliment people offered. When Marina thanked him for staying long after everyone else had gone home, Everett simply smiled and admitted that helping people made him happier than spending weekends alone. That simple conversation became another the following weekend. Then another. Before long, they were spending every sunny afternoon together. They visited farmers' markets, explored botanical gardens, attended community festivals, volunteered at animal shelters, and shared quiet picnics overlooking the ocean. Everett never tried to impress Marina with expensive gifts. Instead, he remembered small details. He brought her favorite blueberry muffins from a local bakery, surprised her with rare books she had mentioned months earlier, and always asked about the children at the library before talking about himself. Whenever Marina asked about his work, Everett explained that he designed buildings and occasionally traveled for business. He never lied. He simply left out one important detail. He owned the International Architectural Company. His designs shaped skylines across continents. His investments had quietly made him one of the wealthiest people in the country. Years earlier, Everett had experienced a painful relationship in which someone loved his fortune more than his heart. Since then, he promised himself that anyone he allowed into his life would first know the ordinary man beneath the headlines. Marina unknowingly became the first person to fulfill that hope. She never searched his name online. She never questioned his modest lifestyle. She simply loved the thoughtful, dependable man standing beside her. As months passed, Everett found himself imagining a future he had once believed impossible. He admired Marina's compassion, especially when she secretly purchased school supplies for struggling families or spent afternoons reading to children whose parents worked long hours. She never expected recognition. She believed goodness mattered most when nobody was watching. Unknown to Marina, Everett quietly funded several literacy programs after seeing her dedication. He made the donations anonymously because he knew she preferred helping others without publicity. Everything seemed perfect until one unexpected invitation arrived. The city's largest children's hospital planned a daytime charity celebration honoring anonymous donors whose contributions had transformed pediatric care, libraries, and educational programs. Marina attended because her library had received new reading materials through one mysterious donor. Everett claimed he had another business meeting and promised to join her afterward. She believed him completely. The event began with cheerful music beneath clear blue skies. Families gathered outdoors while children played games across the beautifully decorated gardens. Then the master of ceremonies stepped onto the stage. A giant screen displayed photographs of hospitals, schools, libraries, and community centers that had benefited from anonymous generosity. Finally, one photograph filled the screen. It was Everett. The announcer introduced him as the founder of the charitable foundation responsible for funding hundreds of educational projects, children's hospitals, housing initiatives, and scholarship programs throughout the country. The crowd erupted into applause. Marina stood frozen. She couldn't hear anything else. Every memory from the past year suddenly felt different. Had everything been real? Or had she unknowingly been living inside a carefully constructed story? After the ceremony ended, Everett found Marina standing quietly beneath a flowering tree. For the first time since they had met, he looked genuinely afraid. He explained that he never intended to deceive her. He simply wanted one relationship where someone chose him before discovering his wealth. He admitted that hiding such an important truth had become harder every month, yet fear kept convincing him that revealing it too soon would destroy what they had built. Marina listened silently. She wasn't angry because Everett was wealthy. She was hurt because trust had been delayed. Over the following weeks, they saw each other less often. Marina needed time to understand her feelings. She questioned whether genuine love could survive such a significant secret. Meanwhile, Everett struggled with regret. For all his success in business, he realized he had underestimated how much honesty mattered to someone whose entire life centered around trust. Instead of trying to win Marina back with luxury or grand gestures, he respected her need for space. He continued volunteering at the library. He continued supporting literacy programs anonymously. Nothing about his kindness changed except that Marina now understood where the resources came from. One warm afternoon nearly a month later, Marina discovered an old notebook Everett had accidentally left behind at the library. Inside were sketches for affordable housing, children's learning centers, public parks, and handwritten notes describing dreams of creating communities where no child would grow up believing poverty determined their future. There were no calculations of profit. Only ideas for helping people. She realized something important. Everett's greatest secret had never been his fortune. It had been his fear. He feared that nobody would ever truly separate the man from the money. Marina finally understood the loneliness hidden behind extraordinary success. She invited Everett to meet her at the same town square where they had first met 1 year earlier. The book fair had returned. Children laughed beneath colorful banners exactly as they had 12 months before. Everett arrived carrying another box of donated books, dressed in the same worn jeans and faded baseball cap. Nothing about him looked different. Yet everything had changed. Marina smiled because she finally understood why he had loved those ordinary afternoons so much. They were the only places where nobody expected anything from him except kindness. She gently told him that trust cannot grow where important truths remain hidden, but forgiveness becomes possible when people choose honesty over fear. Everett apologized without excuses. He admitted that protecting his heart had nearly cost him the person who had healed it. From that day forward, they rebuilt their relationship slowly, this time without secrets. Marina became involved in Everett's charitable foundation, helping expand literacy programs into underserved communities. Together, they visited schools, libraries, and family centers during sunny afternoons, celebrating every child who discovered the joy of reading. Years later, when reporters asked Everett about the greatest investment he had ever made, many expected him to mention skyscrapers or technology companies. Instead, he smiled warmly toward Marina. He explained that the best investment of his life began beside a folding table filled with donated books, where a librarian treated an ordinary volunteer with genuine respect before knowing anything about his success. The audience applauded, but Marina simply squeezed his hand. She knew the applause wasn't for wealth. It was for truth, forgiveness, and the courage to trust again. Before this story comes to an end, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment and tell us, if someone hid their wealth because they feared being loved for the wrong reasons, would you forgive them after learning the truth? If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. May this story remind us that real love is never measured by bank accounts, luxury cars, or famous names. It is measured by honesty, compassion, forgiveness, and the quiet moments when two hearts choose each other for who they truly are. In the end, the greatest treasures are not the fortunes we build, but the people who love us even after every secret has been brought into the light.